The rise and fall of Western Zhou. The perfect ritual system that defined Chinese ethics for 3,000 years. Chapter 1. Most overseas audiences only have two stereotypes about the Western Zhou Dynasty. King Wu defeated the Shang Dynasty in military conquest. King Yu toppled the regime for Baosi because of the beacon fire incident. Most people take this superficial view for granted. They suppose the demise of Western Zhou was just a silly farce. It originated purely from the monarch's infatuation with a beauty. They dismiss Zhou rituals as boring, rigid sacrificial formalities. They also reduced the enfeoffment system to a simple practice of land allotment. In historical reality, Western Zhou stood at the pinnacle of ancient Chinese institutional civilization. The Duke of Zhou crafted the full ritual and music system. This intact mechanism maintained state governance and clan order. Three core systems worked in mutual coordination. They are the enfeoffment system, the patriarchal clan system, and the well-field system. Together, they constructed a stable governing framework for the aristocratic class. Ritual codes molded Chinese ethical values and clan identity. They also standardized the whole social rank system. This cultural impact has lasted for 3,000 years to this day. Military might helped Western Zhou seize the whole territory. Yet, elaborate institutional design lifted its civilization to a brand new height. Supported by bronze inscriptions, excavated archaeological relics, and ancient historical records, this video resolves three key core questions. How did Zhou rituals restrain and standardize all trivial details of ancient residents' daily life? Why did the enfeoffment system run steadily in the early stage, but inevitably collapse in the late period? Is the downfall of Western Zhou truly solely blamed on the ruler's obsession with female beauty? King Wu seized the empire with military force. The Duke of Zhou preserved the dynasty's legacy for ages through rituals. Chapter 2. The Western Zhou Dynasty spanned from 1046 BC to 771 BC. Its dual capitals were Fengjing and Haojing. The two ancient cities sit within present-day Xi'an, Shaanxi province. 12 generations produced a total of 13 Zhou kings in succession. The whole historical timeline can be split into three distinct stages. The first stage covers the Golden Age of King Xuan, Wu, Cheng, and Kang. The second stage refers to outward territorial expansion during the reigns of King Zhao and King Mu. The last stage witnesses the gradual national recession from King Li to King Yu. We make a horizontal comparison with civilizations around the world in the same period. When the ritual and music system of the Western Zhou was finalized, ancient Greece stepped into its Homeric period. Ancient Egypt fell into the decline of its late dynastic period. The Assyrian Empire in Mesopotamia was making preparations for outward territorial expansion. Among all ancient civilizations across the globe at that time, Western Zhou owned highly standardized and sophisticated ritual systems. It also formed complete hierarchical state administration and mature moral norms. The Shang Dynasty left precious legacies, mature writing systems, and exquisite bronze manufacturing techniques. Western Zhou elevated these tangible material accomplishments. It transformed them into a complete set of systematic rules for the operation of the whole society. The regime transition from Shang to Zhou was never merely a simple change of ruling dynasties. It represented a pivotal turning point for Chinese civilization. Our civilization shifted from theocracy-centered rule to human-centered ritual governance. The Shang Dynasty centered its social order on the worship of ghosts and gods. Western Zhou constructed its social framework based on human ethics and moral standards. This shift fulfilled a crucial rational evolution for ancient Chinese civilization. The Shang paid supreme homage to ghosts and divinities. The Zhou put virtue and moral cultivation at the core of governance. The humanistic spiritual root of Chinese civilization was firmly planted, starting from this historical moment. Chapter 3. The Zhou tribe rose along the banks of the Wei River. Their earliest ancestor, Haojing, mastered professional farming skills. The clan settled in western China with the support of advanced agricultural production. King Xuan carried out lenient and benevolent governance. He widely gathered virtuous and capable people across the land. Jiang Taigong acted as his most important chief counselor. Zhou steadily boosted its national power step by step. It incorporated numerous Western vassal states affiliated to the Shang Dynasty. Later, King Xuan was detained by the Shang royal court in Yuli. During his captivity, he sorted out and compiled I Ching. He accomplished profound ideological precipitation and theoretical accumulation. King Xuan laid solid foundational strength for the clan. King Wu took over the unfinished great undertaking. He rallied hundreds of allied vassal troops to wage the Battle of Muye. Shang's slave soldiers mutinied on the battlefield. The Shang regime collapsed in a very short period of time. After winning the war, King Wu did not massacre the surviving Shang people. He issued moderate enfeoffment policies to pacify public mood nationwide. 3 core cornerstone systems of the Zhou Dynasty were officially finalized. The enfeoffment system distributed land and affiliated civilians. Recipients included royal clansmen, meritorious ministers, and descendants of ancient sage rulers. These fief holders guarded the central royal court from all regions. The patriarchal clan system took primogeniture as the core rule. It clarified blood-based social ranks and avoided disputes over royal succession. The well-field system standardized the planning mode of farmland. It set unified standards for state taxation and public farmland management. These 3 systems closely restrained and complemented one another. They constructed a pyramid-shaped social rank structure. From the Son of Heaven, regional dukes, senior ministers down to scholar officials. Every stratum possessed clear hierarchical obligations and loyalty relations. King Wu died young after the founding of the dynasty. The juvenile King Cheng ascended the throne afterward. The Duke of Zhou assumed the position of regent to administer state affairs. He suppressed the rebellion of the 3 guards. He wiped out the residual rebel forces loyal to the former Shang Dynasty. This move cleared major internal hazards for the long-term governance of Western Zhou. King Wu captured land and territory with military force. The Duke of Zhou formulated complete national institutional frameworks. Kings Cheng and Kang brought the dynasty into a golden age via rest and recuperation policies. Chapter 4. After putting down the uprising through eastern military expeditions, the Duke of Zhou constructed Luoyang as the eastern capital. This city was responsible for governing the eastern Central Plains region. The dual capital structure strengthened the Son of Heaven's jurisdiction over the core territories of the whole kingdom. Kings Cheng and Kang implemented mild tax policies and tranquil civil administration. Large-scale wars vanished for several decades in a row. This peaceful era was recorded as the Cheng-Kang reign. It stood as the most flourishing and stable golden age of Western Zhou. King Zhao drowned while launching a southern punitive campaign against the state of Chu. King Mu obsessed over long-distance journeys and conquests against northern nomadic groups. Continuous consumption gradually emptied the national treasury. Western Zhou stepped down from its peak prosperity and started a slow decline. Even so, the ritual system was comprehensively spread and firmly entrenched in this phase. Zhou rituals were sorted into 5 major classifications. They include sacrificial rites, funeral rites, military rites, guest rites, and auspicious rites. These norms covered all kinds of social activities: ancestor worship, funeral arrangements, military operations, diplomatic exchanges, weddings, and formal feasts. Music and dance performances corresponded strictly to social statuses. There were rigid regulations on the quantity of bronze ding cauldrons and musical instruments for every class, which was named the ding grade hierarchy system. No noble or civilian was permitted to cross the etiquette boundaries formulated by the royal court. In this historical stage, military crusades and grand ritual ceremonies could only be sanctioned by the Son of Heaven alone. Vassal states must execute royal military commands, deliver fixed tribute periodically, and travel to the royal capital to report state affairs. The Zhou emperors possessed supreme judicial and military power, sustaining a century of orderly governance. Rigorous ritual codes effectively kept social order in check, but they could not curb land seizure acts and territorial expansion among vassal lords. The People's Uprising, led by ordinary civilians, first ripped open the gorgeous, prosperous appearance of Western Zhou. Chapter 5. After the middle stage of Western Zhou, royal spending kept rising sharply. Constant land enfeoffment kept eating up the royal private land. The territory and people directly ruled by the Zhou king kept shrinking year after year. This created a long-term shortage of state fiscal revenue. To replenish the empty national treasury, King Li carried out resource monopoly policies. He took exclusive control over mountains, forests, and water areas. Ordinary people were banned from logging trees and fishing in waters. The basic survival of folk residents was severely threatened. King Li assigned brutal officials to supervise people's words. All public criticism and voices of dissatisfaction were suppressed violently. This directly ignited the Civil Revolt of commoners in 841 BC. Masses rushed into the royal palace to stage an uprising. King Li had to flee the capital and live in exile ever after. The Duke of Zhou and the Duke of Zhou jointly administered state affairs. This special period was called the Gonghe Regency. It is the starting point of accurate chronological records in written Chinese history. The 14-year joint regency dealt a heavy blow to royal dignity. For the very first time, civilians openly shook the supreme authority of the Son of Heaven. In later years, King Xuan brought a short-lived revitalization to the dynasty. He recaptured lost borderlands through military expeditions. He also revised and restored the collapsed ritual system. Nevertheless, he was unable to erase the innate defects of the enfeoffment system. Vassal fiefdoms were passed down within noble families by hereditary succession. Local states grew stronger with each passing generation. The central royal court gradually lost the ability to restrict the outward expansion of vassal forces. Rites and rituals only served as soft moral restraints. There existed no powerful compulsory mechanism to enforce these rules. With the continuous decline of royal power, vassals began to break ritual rules frequently. Huge, irreparable fractures appeared inside Western Zhou's whole institutional system. The civilian uprising shattered the inviolable myth of imperial supremacy. The revival during King Xuan's reign was nothing but the fleeting last radiance before the dynasty's collapse. Chapter 6. After King Xuan passed away, King Yu inherited the throne. The well-known beacon fire incident is taken as the symbol of Western Zhou's fall. In truth, it was merely a superficial, triggering event. The dynasty's collapse stemmed from long-term piled-up conflicts of all kinds. First came successive natural catastrophes. Severe droughts and violent earthquakes ravaged the Guangdong Plain in the late Western Zhou period. The Jing River Wei River, and Luo River all dried up. Poor harvests and widespread famines forced countless civilians into refugee status. Meanwhile, the royal court possessed no capability for disaster relief. Public resentment spread wildly across the realm. Second was fierce internal strife inside the royal court. King Yu dethroned the legal crown prince Yi Jiu. He designated Baosi's biological son as the new royal heir. This move seriously damaged the core interests of Marquis Shen and allied vassal lords. Marquis Shen made an alliance with the Quanrong nomadic tribes to launch retaliation against the central court. Third lies the fundamental root of the downfall. The royal standing army suffered drastic decline with severe troop shortages. The capital's defense heavily leaned on military support from vassal states. Beacon towers were originally built to call allied troops in wartime emergencies. King Yu used this critical military facility as a playful trick just to please Baosi. The Zhou court lost its last trace of credibility and military mobilization capability entirely. Under the enfeoffment system, vassal states had already realized de facto autonomous rule. The royal family had long lost actual command over the whole country's military forces, even before the Quanrong invasion. Multiple crises superimposed on one another. The collapse of Western Zhou became an unavoidable outcome. Baosi was nothing but a visible fuse, igniting all the accumulated contradictions. Natural disasters destroyed ordinary people's means of survival. Internal court conflicts tore the ruling group apart. Collapsed public trust completely wiped out royal authority. Under these combined blows, the fall of Western Zhou was destined to happen. Chapter 7. In 771 BC, Marquis Shen commanded Quanrong cavalries to launch a sudden assault on Haojing. The royal guards were unable to hold back the offensive. The imperial capital was breached and captured. King Yu and Baosi's son were slain in the chaos. Fengjing and Haojing were ransacked and set ablaze. The 275-year reign of the Western Zhou Dynasty came to a full end. With the backing of faithful vassal lords, the deposed crown prince Yi Jiu took the throne. Known in history as King Ping, continuous wars left the Guanzhong plain devastated. The region was occupied by Quanrong tribes, rendering the original royal homeland no longer safe to inhabit. In 770 BC, King Ping relocated the royal court, government officials, and common residents east toward Luoyang. This eastward migration stands as a critical dividing line in Chinese history. After the capital transfer, the Zhou royal domain shrank sharply. The royal military power was reduced to the level of a small feudal state. The Son of Heaven completely lost the capacity to restrict local vassal rulers. The ancient principle that only the royal house held exclusive rights over rituals and military campaigns disappeared entirely. This event ushered in the turbulent spring and autumn period. The complete ritual-based social order constructed in Western Zhou thoroughly crumbled. Even as the Western Zhou political regime collapsed, the ritual thoughts, patriarchal clan systems, and moral codes formulated by the Duke of Zhou were carried forward and enriched by Confucianism. These core cultural tenets merged into China's social framework for over 2,000 successive years. The fall of Haojing closed a chapter of Western Zhou governance. Yet Zhou rituals eternally sustained the unbroken cultural heritage of the Chinese nation. Chapter 8. First of all, let us fix a widespread historical misunderstanding. The legend of beacon fire teasing the lords was largely exaggerated by historians of later ages. The fall of Western Zhou was triggered by multiple overlapping crises. These include inherent institutional defects, territorial disputes between noble clans, foreign invasions from northern nomads, drastic climate disasters, and the long-term decline of royal power. The collapse was never simply caused by an emperor's favor toward one woman. Western Zhou handed down three invaluable core legacies to Chinese civilization. First, a full set of ritual and ethical frameworks which shaped the fundamental etiquette and moral outlook of the Chinese nation. Second, the primogeniture system that stabilized the hereditary succession mode of ancient clans for generations. Third, the enfeoffment system, which laid abundant practical experience of territorial administration for the unified empires that followed. The county administration system adopted in the Qing and Han dynasties, together with the core ideological system of Confucianism, both took root in the long-term civilization precipitation of the Western Zhou era. Interactive question. To boost comment engagement, the enfeoffment system secured prolonged stability and prosperity in the early Western Zhou Dynasty. Meanwhile, this institutional design planted hidden dangers that inevitably led to the dynasty's downfall. In your opinion, was enfeoffment the most suitable governing system for ancient civilizations, or an institution doomed to fail due to innate fatal defects? Leave your rational and objective viewpoints in the comment area below. Our upcoming video will dissect the turbulent spring and autumn period of Eastern Zhou. We will illustrate the rise of the five hegemons, as well as continuous conflicts among feudal lords against the backdrop of collapsed ritual norms. Subscribe to this channel for objective, evidence-supported historical interpretation of every ancient Chinese dynasty.